Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good evening. You're watching Oman News. First, the headlines. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos receives a written message from the President of Sudan, handed over to His Highness the Deputy Prime Minister for the Council of Ministers. The Minister of Higher Education signs an agreement with Injaz Corporation to implement entrepreneurship programs for applied sciences college students. The Sultan will host the World Military Cup football tournament in 2017. And entrepreneurs gathering in Brahmi discussed the organization of the labor market. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos received a written message from His Excellency President Omar Hassan al-Bashir of Sudan. The message was handed over to His Highness Said Fahad bin Mahmoud Al Said, Deputy Prime Minister for the Council of Ministers, when he received in his cabinet today His Excellency Ali Ahmed Karti, Foreign Minister Envoy of His Excellency the President of Sudan, who conveyed greetings and best wishes to His Majesty the Sultan, the government and the Omani people. Talks during the meeting touched on the existing good relations between the two countries, the developments at the Sudanese arena, and the efforts exerted to enhance the national unity, security, and stability for the interest of all Sudanese people, in addition to the current issues at the international arena. His Highness expressed the Sultan's keenness for the stability of the situation in Sudan and prosperity of the march of building and development. He also asked the guests to convey greetings of His Majesty the Sultan, along with his best wishes to continue success to His Excellency the President of Sudan, Omar Hassan al-Bashir, and the people of Sudan of progress and welfare. The meeting was attended by His Excellency Yusuf bin Ali bin Abdullah, Minister responsible for Foreign Affairs, and His Excellency Awad Muhammad bin Auf, Sudanese ambassador accredited to the Sultanate. His Excellency Khalid bin Hilal al-Mauli, Chairman of the Shura Council, received Vice Admiral Rinaldo Ferri, head of the Italian military delegation. They discussed strong relations between the two countries in various levels and aspects. The Chairman of the Shura Council introduced to the guest a briefing on the scope of responsibilities granted to Council of Oman in both legislative and monitoring sides. From his side, the head of the Italian military delegation stressed the importance of joint cooperation between the two countries. Student company's idea has achieved tangible success. Thus, the Minister of Higher Education signed another agreement with Injaz Corporation to implement It Is My Business, a program and competition in applied sciences colleges. The winning student company in the program will represent the Sultanate and compete to be the best student company at the Arab level. Entrepreneurship and self-employment is the government's trend to provide the market with real and specialized companies. His Excellency Dr. Abdullah bin Mohammed As-Sarmi, Under-Secretary of the Ministry of Higher Education, pointed out that the rise of the rate of admission average at the higher education institutions is attributed to the increasing demand for studying in these institutions. He added that the government is working to provide higher education opportunities for Omani youths inside and outside the Sultanate. The Sultanate, represented by Sultan's Armed Forces, will host for the first time the World Military Cup football tournament in 2017. Here's a report.
The Sultanate, represented by the Sultan's Armed Forces, has won the honor of hosting the championship of the World Cup for the military football teams in 2017. I would like to extend best and deepest congratulations to His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Said, Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, on this honorable occasion of winning the honor to host the World Military Cup for football. And I would like to extend my congratulations to our beloved country as a whole. That was declared yesterday by the President of the International Council for Military Sports during the 69th meeting of the Council in Quito, the capital of Ecuador. The meeting was attended by 87 states representatives as members of the CISM. It's not weird that Oman has won the votes of CISM members to host the World Military Cup in 2017, for it is fully ready to organize such championships, and Sultan's Armed Forces has proven its efficiency in all fields, and of which is football. Last year, the military team for football won the trophy of the Asian qualifiers, and they came second in the World Military Cup in 2013. The Sultanate's winning to host the 2017 Military World Cup is due to the success of the Sultan's Armed Forces to host and organize the Asian qualifiers for the World Military Cup in 2013, as well as the level of excellence that the military football has achieved along with the national-wide sports. Besides that, Oman is fully ready to make any international championship a success. In terms of preparation for organizing such championships, we made it successfully in organizing the previous Asian qualifiers for the World Military Cup 2013. And all who are concerned with this event are getting ready to develop the relevant plans to host the championship in 2017. Not to forget, the military team for football won the trophy of the Asian qualifiers for the World Military Cup on February 2013, and they won the runner-up title too in the last CISM World Football Trophy in Baku, Azerbaijan on July 2013. I would like to thank all who made an effort in making the nomination for hosting the World Military Cup a success, especially the Directorate of Military Sport and certainly the Omani Association for Football. I wouldn't forget to encourage everybody to spare no efforts in making the 2017 World Military Cup a distinctive championship. This accomplishment has been achieved due to several factors that corroborated the Sultanate's winning of the honor to host the World Cup for the military football teams 2017, represented by Sultan's Armed Forces. Lieutenant Saeed bin Yahya Al-Amri.
The Royal Army of Oman, RAO, held a ceremony for the graduation of a new batch of recruits under the auspices of Air Vice Marshal Matar bin Ali Al-Ubaidani, Commander of the Royal Air Force of Oman. During the ceremony held at the training battalion ground, a military performed a show with a silent movement in slow march and weapon movements accompanied by RAO music. The chief guest distributed certificates of appreciation to the top graduates in various activities and competitions. Still to come in our news bulletin. A robot exhibition was launched at the Scientific Exploration Center in the Governorate of Sharqiya. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Sultan Qaboos University held a ceremony to inaugurate the 14th Oman International English Language Teaching Conference. More details in the following report by Sultan bin Saif Al-Sarai.
Sultan Qaboos University hosted today the 14th Oman International English Language Teaching Conference, organized annually by the Sultan Qaboos University Language Center. under the auspices of His Excellency Dr. Abdul Min'um bin Mansour Al-Hsani, Minister of Information.
There are many creative ideas in the field of teaching, of English language teaching. I think this conference of more than 88 papers that will be presented today and tomorrow, it's very important for the university, for the students and the teacher actually to gain many ideas and also to prepare our students in this field to be a good teacher and also a creative graduate of English language.
The conference aims to develop opportunities to facilitate the exchange of ideas, experiences and research in the field of English language teaching.
Through conferences like this that teachers refresh themselves and they get to know more about their profession. They meet people from overseas, they exchange ideas. So this is the way that, this is the purpose of a conference, basically to exchange ideas, to meet new people and to learn about new methods of teaching.
120 speakers from various universities around the world discussed 90 work papers in the 2 days conference through seminars, presentations and flyers. After the opening ceremony, the chief guest inaugurated the exhibition that includes different English language teaching centers.
This international conference held by SQU, especially by the Language Center, is a good opportunity to meet up with experts of ELT, English language teaching, and to share the latest innovations in methodologies and the language teaching in the Sultanate and around the world.
Oman International Conference was established in 2001 to act as a professional forum that annually brings together teachers, researchers, and professionals in the field of English language.
Activities of Gulf Cooperation Council Border and Coast Guards Week 2014 are concluded. It came to spread awareness on preserving marine environment. It witnessed a number of activities, namely distributing awareness pamphlets and cleaning various beaches and natural sanctuaries. The Royal Oman Police, along with other bodies concerned, stressed on the significance of such events. Muscat Securities Market General Index today added 44.81 points, comprising a rise by 0.66% to close at 6,825.27 points. The trading value stood at 7.44 million Omani Riyals, comprising a rise by 11.85% compared to the last session, which stood at 6.65 million Omani Riyals. A report released by MSM pointed out that the market value rose by 0.43% to reach about 14.26 billion Riyals. It added that the value of the shares bought by non-Omani investors reached more than 1.85 million Riyals, and the value of shares sold by non-Omani investors reached 1,118 million Riyals. The book, The Greatest Designer, is a philosophical and critical reading of a book titled The Grand Design by Professor Stephen Hawking and Leonard Mlodinov. The new book, The Greatest Designer, was written by Dr. Hassan bin Ahmed Jawad with comments by Muhammad Riza Al-Lawati. It was launched today under the auspices of His Excellency Salim bin Mohammed Al-Mahrouqi, Under Secretary of the Ministry of Heritage and Culture for Heritage Affairs. The Grand Design by Hawking and Mlodinov is one of the best-seller books in which the two writers explain their views on divinity and the denial of being a creator for the universe. The launched book is a response to this book and an addition to the field of philosophy. The two Omani writers, by using simple style and Islamic philosophical approach, has succeeded in criticism views raised in the Grand Design book with regard to creation of the universe. Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industries branch in Buremi organized a meeting between male and female entrepreneurs in the governorate with His Excellency Sheikh Abdullah bin Nasser Al Bakri, Minister of Manpower. The meeting aimed to discuss obstacles hindering the labor sector in the Sultanate and challenges facing small and medium enterprises. His Excellency the Minister of Manpower briefed the participants on the expatriate manpower rate in the Governorate of Boremi comparing to Omanization rate. The meeting also tackled several topics such as training and employment of Omani youths in the private sector. Al-Noor Association for the Blind held a ceremony to celebrate the inauguration of its new branch in the Governorate of Al-Dakhiliya. It was presided over by Her Excellency Dr. Madiha bint Ahmed Al-Shibaniya, Minister of Education. The new premises includes training halls, theatre and other facilities for the blind. This achievement was considered a new step towards enhancing association services and contributing further in serving the community through voluntary as well as social works. The third Students' Gathering for Global Environmental Program was held in Muscat. It witnessed a participation from schools applying 4 protocols, namely water, soil, plant and atmosphere. The excelled schools were honored. It also included a special exhibition for student works and researchers. The program will expand in future as it contributes in enhancing students' capabilities in understanding the environment. The Scientific Exploration Center of the Directorate General of Education in the Governorate of Sharqiya launched a robot exhibition. It included a number of workshops equipped with electronic devices to contribute in development of students' and teachers' capabilities in using robots. In the field of education, many students flocked to the center to benefit from its various services in the field of technology, science and e-education. And now for the general weather forecast. Clear to partly cloudy skies will prevail over the Sultanate. Winds will be northeasterly light to moderate, and seas along the southeastern coast will be moderate to rough with a maximum wave height of 2.5 meters, while it will be slight to moderate along the rest of the Sultanate, a coast with a maximum wave height of 1.25 meters. Watching the Sultan of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points. Once again, His Majesty Sultan Qaboos receives a written message from the President of Sudan, handed over to His Highness the Deputy Prime Minister for the Council of Ministers. The Minister of Higher Education signs an agreement with Injaz Corporation to implement entrepreneurship program for Applied Sciences College students. The Sultan will host the World Military Cup Football Tournament in 2017. And the Entrepreneurs Gathering in Boremi discusses the organization of the labor market. And with that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here in the newsroom and the studios, we wish you a very good weekend. Good night.